Alhamdulillah, Bismillah. So yesterday we were rounding off our discussions on the Ramadan. Yesterday we were speaking about what again? Tarawih. And the last thing in the bab of Ramadan is i'tikaf. I'tikaf. So i'tikaf is when you make your intention to spend a period of seclusion in the masjid during the month of you can i'tikaf any time of the year, but we're speaking about the i'tikaf in Ramadan. So when you enter the masjid, you can make niyyah of i'tikaf now also, but it's any time that you spend within the masjid with the niyyah of secluding yourself for the worship of Allah Ta'ala. And so we find that the prophetic practice was that the Prophet ﷺ used to make i'tikaf at different times of the year, but at the end of his life, he made i'tikaf in the last 10 nights of Ramadan. And part of the reason for that is also for the seeking of Laylatul Qadr, and just also part to maximize the end of Ramadan. And so the sunnah applies to males and females. It is sunnah for males and females to make i'tikaf. We find at the stage also, even the Prophet's wives used to erect tents in the masjid, and they used to i'tikaf in the masjid in Medina as well, for a period of time. And so, practically speaking, how are you going to make i'tikaf? Because generally for the masjids, they have more facilities for the men in terms of sleeping arrangements and catering and so on. Mizan Institute, we have our i'tikaf at Habibia Masjid. So we have like a fully catered i'tikaf for the brothers and sleeping facilities and catering and everything. So for the females and for the males also, is that i'tikaf is any amount of time. So first of all, i'tikaf is any amount of time. So whether you spend an hour or 3 hours or 10 hours or 10 days, any amount of time is i'tikaf. So all of you are able to make some degree of i'tikaf in Ramadan. And so I would encourage you, all of you, in the last 10 days, is to go to the masjid with that niyyah, inshallah, and go with that niyyah to spend some extra time. Meaning what, you might go for a salah, you might go for tarawih, you might go for a program, but also go to spend an hour just with your own ibadah, your own dhikr, your own Quran, your own personal salah, just to have some portion of i'tikaf with you, inshallah. And so it's easy. When you enter the masjid, you make the niyyah of i'tikaf, and then you're in i'tikaf. Now. Yeah, so that view of making i'tikaf in your home, where you like create a spot in your home, like almost like a musalla area, salah, dhikr area, that view exists in the Hanafi madhab, not in the Shafi'i madhab. So in the Hanafi madhab, one is able to practice upon that view, and so that if that is your option, you can practice upon that view. I mean, if you don't have the option of going to the masjid and spending many hours there, you can practice upon that view. But in the Shafi'i madhab, it has to be in a masjid. No. So one could even do a combination of both, meaning what? When you're able to go to the masjid, first go to the masjid and spend some time there. And if you're at home, you can spend some time in your area of your house, which is like your musalla area. It doesn't have to be a full room, it can be a section of your room, like devoted for that, inshallah ta'ala. No. Any other i'tikaf questions? No, so i'tikaf is basically it basically applies when you stay in the masjid, and it continues to apply if you leave for a necessity. So what I mean by that is that, say, for the brothers in i'tikaf, they come and they make the niyyah of spending 10 days in i'tikaf. At some point, they have to leave the masjid to go to the toilet. So the toilet is not considered to be the masjid. So let's separate between masjid and waqf. Waqf, like this whole property here is waqf. Meaning what? It belongs to Allah, it doesn't belong to any individual. It'll have trustees who look after it, but it belongs to Allah. But this whole property is in masjid. We have a wall there, we have classrooms there, we have a toilet there. That's not considered to be masjid proper. That's waqf, like Islamic center and so on. So if you're making itikaf here, for necessity, you'd have to leave to the toilet and then come back again. And then for necessity, you might have to take a meal in the wall and come back because you can't eat in the masjid, so you could take a. And so if you're leaving for necessity, your single niyyah uh, uh, persists. Meaning, what say Monday you came in and you just left only for using the toilet and only for meals, then your single niyyah would persist. If you leave for another reason, you'll just have to remake your niyyah. For example, someone says, okay, I'm etikaf for 2 days, I want to go shower. It's not a fard ghusl, so it's not a necessity. Then that person leaves the masjid, they have a shower, and when they enter, they make a new niyyah again. You know what I mean? So the remaking of the niyyah depends if you left for a necessity or not. But the madhab is very flexible in the sense that whenever you enter, you can make the niyyah. So you can leave and you can go home and take your rest and come back and make the niyyah again. Now, the benefit is that you in a state of ibadah all the time, even while you're sleeping and even while you're just relaxing, because you've devoted yourself to the masjid for that time. All of you have been, okay, none of you in itikaf proper, but alhamdulillah. We normally, I don't know if you guys invited, but anyway, we normally have itikaf programs we used to have them in my house actually. For quite a few years, we used to have itikaf at my house. Because I'm not there normally the last 10 days, and then ladies come to my house, and then they make itikaf there, and they go to the programs from there. And in recent years, we've been having itikaf at Kutri, our school. So ladies have come there for 10 days, 5 days, and they made itikaf there, and they go to the programs from there. So we've used that as a base, basically, to facilitate for ladies to make itikaf. I'm not sure what the plans are this year, so I'm in charge of that. So, but we have done that for a few years now. Yeah. Any other Ramadan questions, fasting questions, Tarawih questions? You know all the Ramadan facts now. Like my wife came to me, she said someone messaged her. And just the person was, uh, they had their haid, and then they woke up in the morning after Fajr, and they saw they didn't have their haid. And then she asked me, is their fast valid? So I asked you, is their fast valid? They had the haid the day before, they went to bed, they woke up after Fajr, and then they saw that they don't have their haid. They didn't make the niyyah. So what is missing is that they didn't make the niyyah. Had they made the niyyah, it would better be intact. Meaning what? You can still enter haid, you can enter the fasting day in your haid. In that case, say the person says, okay, I'll probably be clean tomorrow, so I'll make the niyyah to fast if I'm clean. And then if they'd woken up then and then had the niyyah, but still had to wash, the fasting would have been intact. You with me? No. So those are common questions. Which aspect of it? No. So the witr is in the Shafi madhab, there's three views on the witr. So in the Shafi madhab, first of all, that the main view, okay, many views of many things, but let me give you the kunut first. So in the Shafi madhab, in general, the kunut is sunnah in the second half of Ramadan. In the second half of Ramadan. That's the first thing. Secondly, there are views that hold that the qunut is sunnah for the whole of Ramadan. But that's not the dominant Shafi view. The dominant Shafi view is that it's for the second half of Ramadan, and that's what most of the masajid practice. Now, you'll find some masjids might make kunut the entire year. I not the entire year, the entire month. I think they're not, no, I'm not sure. No, they don't make kunut. But some of them might make kunut the entire month. That's the first thing. In the Hanafi madhab, there's no kunut in witr. So, I think it will start on the 15th night. No, the 14th day. Am I wrong? No, it's the other way around. Remember, the night precedes the day. So if say today is the, what is the day of Ramadan? Today is the 13th day. So tonight is the 14th night. So I'll double check whether it's is it the 15th night or the 16th night? What comes to mind is the 15th night, but I'll double check inshallah. Yeah. So that's the first difference. The second difference is in the structure of the witr. The Shafis have three views with regard to the structure of the witr. The dominant view is the one that you know, which is two and then one. The dominant view is two. You say taslim, assalamu alaikum, get up and make one. That's the dominant view in the Shafi madhab. You get, and in the view in the Hanafi madhab is that the Hanafi madhab doesn't have a single rak'ah salah. So in the Hanafi madhab, they pray witr like they pray maghrib. It's three together. It's three together. Where the Shafis pray two and one. What many people don't know is that there's an alternative view in the Shafi madhab that has the same witr as the Hanafi madhab, which means it is three altogether. You make one rak'at, you make second rak'at, tahiyyah, you make a third rak'at, tahiyyah, and salam. Then there's a third view in the Shafi madhab that says you make three rak'ats and you only make tahiyyah in the last one. You make two get up and you make tahiyyah in the last one only. But those are less practiced views. Why I mention all these views, besides the question, is that if you find yourself in a Hanafi Jama'ah, you just follow them and your witr is valid. Meaning what? They will make three altogether, you make the same niyyah and you make three. If you find yourself also in a Hanafi community, it is preferable that you make the witr all three together. Why? If you don't do that, the Shafis will make the witr alone and the Hanafis will make the witr alone, as they do in many masjids. If you, none of from Joburg, yeah. Oh, yeah. From Joburg, separated, yeah. So someone also from Botswana told them the same thing. I said, if you Shafi in like Botswana, Kimberley, all those places, just lead witr like the Hanafis do because it's valid in the Shafi madhab. So it's a view within the Shafi madhab. So rather just keep the community together and make one witr. Now, but the Hanafis are not going to make two and one because for them they don't have a view that says one is okay. We have a view that says three is okay. So it's easy for us to move to three because they can't move to two and one in their madhab. And also the Hanafis generally speaking in their madhab and in their practice also, the Hanafis don't easily leave their madhab. Whereas the Shafi'is, we can more easily leave our madhab. It's part of our madhab to leave our madhab. You with me? It's part of our madhab to leave our madhab. Yeah. Settle to one only, yes. It's all valid. You can recite anything in the salah. You can recite anything. It's okay. Any surah, even no surah, is still valid salah. No, we'll come to it inshallah, but a surah is not part of the rukn of salah. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so what happens is that the number of raka'at are not the essential component of the niyyah. So you can just follow them. The number of raka'at are not an essential component of the niyyah. Yeah. See that? Mm. Normal, Normally a'la comes with ghashiyah, and so you must check the narrations. What I know is it's a'la then ghashiyah, and then the three quls. Normally kulla kafirun comes with qul wallahu ahad in the fajr in the sunnahs before fajr, but we can check inshallah. I'm checking. I can come back to you and checking inshallah. Yeah. But normally, Sabih Isma Rabbil A'la, normally it's coupled with Alataka Hadith al-Ghashiyah. Those two are normally coupled in the prophetic salahs. So I haven't yet heard of A'la with Kafirun. You asked me about A'la and Ghashiyah and Kafirun and Ikhlas together. So can you just double check inshallah? You can remind me to check, inshallah. Okay. Anything else? But witr is a very, very, very strong sunnah. My advice to you is not to leave off your witr. In fact, in the Hanafi madhab is wajib. They must make it. In the Shafi madhab is sunnah, but it's a very, very strong sunnah. So my advice to you is not to leave off the witr. Even if you have to pray one rak'ah, don't leave off the witr. But it's preferable to do three. Sunnah? So what's the niyyah of the extra two? Yeah. So the salah must come with a niyyah. So whatever you make a niyyah for, because witr can be 3, 5, 7, 9, 11. So no. Yes. I don't know. I haven't done an extra two ba'ad al-isha salah, but I mean, you can make it. No. No. Yeah, so I'm saying it'll depend on what the niyyah of the salah is. Is it linked to the isha, linked to the witr, or have to make a niyyah and say, yes. I think it might be limited to 11. I can check, but I think it's normally up to 11. No. I didn't see him yet. I don't see him often, but if I see him, inshallah, I'll check with him. Inshallah. No. No. See. No. 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 So if you made witr and then you wake up in the night to make tahajjud, you can make tahajjud and don't repeat the witr. So the witr isn't the repeated salah. It's made just once. So if you're done, you're done. No. Mm-hmm. No. Okay, the qunut, inshallah, the arkan of salah will come to inshallah. So ask on the question. I don't do Ramadan for now. We'll get the fiqh of salah, inshallah. Okay. All good. You're allowed to fast now. You're all professional fasters, don't worry. And you're all fasting fine. You're fasting since 5 years old. 5 years old already in fasting, mashallah. So you're all professional fasters and you're fasting. The legal side is fine. What they must be worried about is the state of the heart, the spiritual side. And so the idea of fiqh is to understand the fiqh, but not make it your preoccupation. You ask me, your preoccupation is not the fiqh, your preoccupation is the relationship to Allah Ta'ala, your ubudiyah to Allah Ta'ala. And so our goal is to create as much ease in the fiqh as possible so that you can focus on your relationship to Allah, not get preoccupied with the fiqh, inshallah ta'ala, because the fiqh is actually very easy and very simple. It was intended for all places and all ages to be easily implemented in life, inshallah. Okay, so Bismillah. Did you get your Aqidah books already? Did we do it already? Did you start memorizing? Did you memorizing with them? Okay, so what you can do with them, inshallah, is in the mornings, they can start reading the first chapter, the first paragraph, sorry, and they can start memorizing it. So what I want you to do is I want you to memorize a paragraph a week, inshallah. Okay, so open your Aqidah, inshallah. I want to do it now, just show you what I mean by it. Where's my Aqidah? Okay, oh, mine doesn't have paragraphs in. Yours have paragraphs in, right? Your poem, just give me the page number there. Page 3. Online students, the online students have books. Yeah, the PDFs are not available. So online students, you must at least get a copy of the poem, inshallah. Send a copy of the poem at least. Inshallah. So this poem is what you're going to do is you're going to memorize this poem, inshallah. You're going to memorize this poem. And so what you find is that the poem is in paragraphs or in sections, normally like 4 or 5 lines a section. And then Muallim was going to give you a nice lagu also. I'm not a lagu person, not a munshid. But anyway, you must say to the tune. So you can read it like Abda'u Bismillahi wa Rahmani. Or your altune is all here. You have 2 tunes here. Anyway. وبالرحيم دائم الإحسان فالحمد لله القديم الأول الآخر الباقي بلا تحول ثم الصلاة والسلام سرمدا على النبي خير من قد وحدا وآله وصحبه ومن تبع سبيل دين الحق غير مبتدع. So that's full answer you must memorize. Now you memorize it. This will be part of your morning wird, inshallah. You're going to sing it every morning. And the next week, 4 more lines. Next week, 4 more lines. Next week, 4 more lines. 4 lines a week, inshallah. And with this, you're going to memorize all of the aqidah. You're going to memorize all Allah's sifats. You're going to memorize all the names of the prophets. And you're going to memorize an outline of the whole seerah, inshallah ta'ala. And then we'll teach the book, inshallah, as well. So you'll know what you've memorized. Okay. So we can start it tomorrow. Inshallah, Monday you can surprise me. Monday you can know all 4. Just 4 lines. Okay. Your cross, yes. Your cross. No. Okay. So that's they will start Aqidah, but I won't start Aqidah now. I'll start Aqidah after Ramadan. Inshallah. Let's start with our fiqh. Inshallah. And then we'll move to Aqidah. Okay, Bismillah. So we sort of started the book. And we got off on a tangent after I was reading some of the stuff here. Where did we start with? I'll remind you where you are because I remember exactly where we were. We were on page number 7, right? So what's that tell you again, page number 7? 7, I was speaking about the ahkam. the ahkam of the Sharia. What was the definition of a hukum? I'll give you a clue. Sounds like Khitabullah. Bismillah. You're supposed to memorize. Bismillah, you memorize. نعم. Mm-hmm. Iqtida, good. So you have to memorize that. You probably didn't memorize it. So remember, hukam was, if you can't memorize the Arabic, you memorize the English. Or what's in English? Or what's the hukam? Okay, not direct speech, just speech. Khitabullah, it is the speech of Allah, al-muta'alliq. You must memorize your ilm. Others said, oh, you don't memorize your ilm. You must memorize your ilm. Al-muta'alliq means what? Connected, attached to what? Af'al al-mukallafin. The the actions of the duty-bound person, the actions of the mukallaf. It is Allah's speech connected to actions. Allah's speech that directs actions. Allah's speech that regulates actions. Min haythul iqtida. What's iqtida again? Same as talab. From the perspective of Allah, seeking an action or seeking a restraint. When Allah is seeking you to do an action, either compulsory or optional, or Allah is seeking you to restrain, either compulsory or optional restraint. You with me? And from that we get four ahkam. We get fard, Allah is seeking that you must do it. Sunnah, Allah is seeking that is good for you to do. Makruh, Allah is seeking for you, prefer not to do it. And haram, Allah is seeking from you, absolutely not to do it. So that's the first thing. Allah's speech connected to your actions in terms of doing and not doing. Awi tahir, tahir means, or Allah gives you free choice, meaning Allah doesn't seek anything from you with regard to it. Allah gives you free choice in that matter. Awil wad'i, what's wad'i? Or Allah regulates the action, meaning Allah tells you when the action begins, Allah tells you what must be in place for you to do it. Allah tells you what's going to prevent you from doing the action. Allah regulates the action. So this is going to be where we went off into where? Where do we go from here? We went into world history and we went into how human society has changed from one that was connected to the divine to one that was connected to humans only and to science to one that was connected only to the nafs. You with me? So we moved from a society that was always religious, always, whether it was Christian, whether it was Muslim, society always had the religion at its forefront, to a society who broke away in the revolution, scientific revolution, enlightenment, broke away from religion and embraced science as the absolute truth, scientific positivism. We only see what we believe. We only believe what we see. To postmodernism, 1960s, there's no authority. You are the authority. Your truth is the truth. Your authenticity, your life, your choice, all of those things, where the only truth is your truth. And so we've moved from that. And so fiqh is bringing us back to what? Khitabullah linked to your actions. For a moment, how do we navigate right and wrong without khitabullah? I asked this question before, but let's see the answer again. How do you navigate right and wrong without, for example, maybe there's someone who's very sickly and they're old, and they say, I want to kill myself, euthanasia. How do you morally navigate that? What principles will you use? Anyone? You must use all the TikTok videos now. You must come to think about them. What does TikTok team say? How you can navigate it? Anyone? No, there's not Allah here. Not Allah. When I say not Allah, I mean we're not talking. It says take religion out of the picture. I'm saying, how does society, because now let me say it another way. Society now does not recognize revelation as a source of law, a source of morality. So what tools are we going to use in society if we put Kitabullah aside? Bismillah?
Maulana?
Okay, so you could put the principle of it's their body, their choice, so they can make the decision if they want to kill themselves, they can euthanize themselves. And if a youngster wants to take cocaine also, you can do it. Your body, your choice. It's okay. And which age can you take cocaine? Because who said 18 is the limit? Okay, Bismillah. Uh, uh, okay, I'll take online first, I'll come back to you, inshallah. Online, Bismillah.
I wanted to say that we spoke about that each society has its norms, so we are socialized to understand what's right and wrong from like a societal point of view. So
Yeah, but we find ourselves that there's rapidly shifting norms, and there's no universal norms anymore. Like even the norms politically between the right and the left is very, very different. So we find that there are no universal norms anymore. Society has its norms where it's based on religion, because religion informs the norms. But without religion, you don't have norms anymore. Bismillah? Okay, so you could use a legal argument to navigate, meaning what does the country's laws say? But the question is, how is the country's laws formed? And the country's laws are also shifting all the time. The country's laws are shifting. I mean, there was a time probably in South African law where homosexuality was illegal. US made it illegal, and now it's not illegal. So laws are shifting also because laws are informed by people. So the legal argument just lags the people. So what happens is people have an idea and then law catches up. Here's me. People have an idea, for example, it's okay to smoke weed. We're gonna smoke it. Then they arrest a few people, arrest a few people, arrest a few people until they come, okay, no, if you're a private user, it's fine, you can do it. See how the law shifted? People did something, the law shifted. So the law is always going to catch up to what people are doing. But people first decide. What are the principles they're going to use? Okay, so one principle is it's your body, your choice. What's another principle? The principle of no harm. Meaning what? Is this action harming someone else? Like, is this person killing someone else? No, they're killing themselves. So, okay, but no harm. You with me? So it's your body, your choice, plus there's no other harm to anybody else. So this is how they're going to navigate it. They're going to navigate it because those are the tools they have. Another tool they're going to use is utilitarianism. What's utilitarianism? What does utility mean? Anybody? Turns out, young ladies, this is about your society every day that you can confront. If you don't have the tools, you can't navigate society. If you don't have the tools, you're not be able to navigate society. Utilitarianism is the greatest good to the greatest amount of people. They base the law and they say, what is the greatest good to the greatest amount of people? The greatest good to the greatest amount of people. That's like the best thing to do. And that's why they bomb countries. If we bomb this country, we're going to benefit this other country. You with me? If we bomb this one country, we're going to create more good for other people. And so this is what that approach also produces. And so what you find is that as we detach ourselves from a khitabullah, which we're still somewhat connected to, but we're going to detach ourselves more and more and more, we're going to face more and more chaos. because there's no authority that can tell you right and wrong. You can say, my body, my choice, do no harm, but that's still open. That means you can do anything. You with me? There's not enough guidelines. It's like way too open. And so people do all sorts of crazy stuff, and it's going to happen in our society more and more because you must understand the philosophy behind it. That's why I'm saying it's important to know these things because these arguments are going to be made to you. Who are you to tell me it's my body, my choice? Who are you to tell me I'm not doing any harm? And what's our response? What's your response? Someone to kill themselves. I'm not harming anybody. My body, my choice. What's your response? No, no, as a Muslim, what are you going to say? If you're Muslim, you're going to say, we follow what we call divine command ethics. What's our ethics called? Divine command ethics, which is very simple, and you must embrace it. You must embrace it. You must say, my ethics, my morals are based on divine command. Like with a full stop. You don't have to get into the benefits and the drawbacks. You can just say, my ethics are based on divine command, and in divine command, life has sanctity. And life cannot be taken unless under very limited conditions, like warfare, or the killing of a murderer or something. Aside from that, life cannot be taken because life has great sanctity. And that's what the divine command says, that's which I go with. But what if someone's suffering? The divine command says that you must have sabr through that. And life has sanctity. So what you must be comfortable with saying is that you don't have to justify the reason behind the divine command. Someone asks you, why you put a scarf in your head? You say, oh no, because it's for my protection, for my modesty. Oh, but am I modest? I'm wearing a beanie. Am I modest? I cut all my hair off. You get into that who's modest. It's a very difficult situation because who's modest, who's immodest. It's a very difficult relative. So all you can just say is, I wear it because divine commands us so. There may be benefits to it, but I don't wear it for the benefits. You with me? You don't do all those deeds. Like someone asks you, why are you fasting? Because I want to restrain my nafs, because I want to have empathy with the poor. No, you're fasting because Allah said you must fast. Are there benefits? There's benefits. But the reason you're doing it is not the benefits. The reason you're doing it is because Allah says wajib. So I have to do it. Are there benefits? Yes. But the benefits and the drawback are not the core of the argument. You with me? The benefits and the drawback are not the core of the argument because you can't argue everything out. The faqih. Faqih means like a scholar of it. You don't understand all the benefits and drawbacks and all of those things. All you must know is that Allah's law says this, I do it, and I trust Allah is Alimul Hakim. Allah is all knowledgeable, all wise. Because what you get into when you get into non-Muslims, that you get into the benefits discussion, which is okay for da'wah purposes and all of those things. I'm not saying you mustn't do it, but I'm saying it's not your reason why. Your reason why is khitabullah. This whole book you're going to do is khitabullah. You with me? Like we did now, fasting. What breaks your fast? What makes your fast? What's the niyyah? All this is like just divine command, whatever Allah says. Did we discuss benefits of fasting in the book? No benefits. Why? Because no, this is not the subject of benefits. I do in tazkiyah and things, other subject. It's not the benefit subject. This is what is the divine command subject. Fiqh is the divine command. Therefore, you must understand hukm. Hukm is what? Khitabullah. Allah's words connected to your actions, and Allah is instructing you. Do, don't do. You have a choice. Do it at this time. Allah is regulating your actions all the time. And why do you embrace it? Because you're abd and Allah is Rabb. Because you are a slave and Allah is Rabb. Does that have benefits? Yes. Do you do it if you only agree with the benefits? No, you do it if the divine command says so. No. What do you tell Allah? No, Allah, I fast much better when I have a coffee at 11 o'clock. I have more taqwa when I have my flat white at 11 o'clock. Can you tell Allah that? Because Allah usually must fast for taqwa. And when I have my coffee, I have more taqwa. You with me? You can't justify the law because of the benefits. You must follow the law. So if you want to be like a thriving Muslim, you must be comfortable with saying, I follow Allah. Even to non-Muslims, I follow the divine command. You don't have to like go around it and go to the pen. You can just say, I follow the divine command. Then you can discuss benefits if you want. Makes sense? If you're going to go straight into the benefits subject, what's going to happen? Oh, but my study shows that this other thing has more benefits than your study. You with me? My university survey shows that, oh no, it's actually, why are you not to get alcohol? If you drink a little bit of red wine, it's good for your heart health. You with me? And then this, I have 10 studies to prove that. Can you see my study is better than your study? You with me? This is what you're going to get into if you're going to go straight to benefits. If you say divine command, then benefits is very simple because then the divine command stands first and the benefits are secondary. The benefits are secondary because the studies themselves are not objective things. You with me? Studies themselves are not objective. If you've been in academia, you know the diversity of opinions and the diversity of ways of studying things and the flaws also within studies. And so you get into that space. Okay. So these are the five things. So everything we're going to discuss is one of these five. Either you must do, should do, free choice, shouldn't do, must not do. You with me? So you must know these five. Or these are going to be the five things. So Bismillah. So we begin with Tahara. Who's reading? Bismillah. Bismillah.
You asked whether you can, like somebody that never fasted, that didn't fast, maybe they passed away or whatever, or they're now sick, and they can't say in the first fast that somebody else can put on the wrong.
Yeah.
And then when I mentioned it at home, when somebody said, it's not just for, you can't do it for anybody, it's only for siblings or children or something like that.
Mm.
So I can't say it here.
Yeah. Sure, I read this like last week. I'm trying to remember what I read now. Let me check what I read, inshallah ta'ala, before I answer. Okay. I read about this last week actually. Yeah. When I teach it, I remember it. Now, okay, so I'll check inshallah. Bismillah. But some mistake ask my all the questions every time I want to message me. Inshallah, because if I leave here, I forget about the